Where I live in Kansas, you would only see really bright green avocados if you went to buy them. But down here, they know that the ones that are dark and just a little bit of push to them are perfectly ripe. And I don't think I'll ever get used to seeing wine sold in grocery stores, Dollar Generals. I mean, it's just everywhere down here. We don't do that in Kansas. So I went to the grocery store this morning and I showed you a couple of clips from that, but I started thinking about some of the things that I do to save money that maybe I have not shared with you guys. When you become frugal and you start doing things kind of in a routine, you just don't even really think about all the little things that you do that add up to save money. But I try to share those with you as I think of them. If you don't know me, I'm Bonita. I'm from Kansas and I live in the country. I'm the daughter of Depression era parents, and I was raised very frugally. I still live that way to a great extent. I am an early retiree at the end of October when I turned 57, and I'm living on savings. I continue to live my life frugally, but I also continue to use my money in areas that mean the most to me and cut back in the areas that I can get by without or that I just don't see a need for. So in these videos, I share with you some of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, some of the things that I think about that would help save us money, and then we share in the comments and give each other ideas as well. I have learned a lot from all of you. So some of the things I was thinking about this last week, you know, when you go to a Mexican restaurant and they bring you your chips and they're warm, that's something that I do at home. If I see that my tortilla chips are getting a little bit stale, I will just pop them in the microwave for a little bit and they come out warm and crunchy again, just like in the Mexican restaurants. So if you've ever tossed out those tortilla chips because they got stale, that's a great way to give them new life so that you can finish that bag. One of the other things that I do, since I'm the only one that eats gluten, I do try to minimize that because I can tell that it does not always do well with my body, but my husband cannot have it at all. He cannot tolerate it. So because I'm the only one eating gluten in our house, I limit myself to one bread product at a time so that things don't go bad. If I choose a loaf of bread, I will use that until it's gone before I buy the next thing. If I buy tortillas, I will use that as my bread product until it's gone before I do the next thing, and so on. Sometimes I'll choose a bagel. Sometimes I'll choose an English muffin. But I never buy multiple bread products at a time because I can't eat that much before it goes bad. Now, sticking them in the fridge can prolong the life of that, but I just prefer to not take the risk and not spend the money on something that I know I can't eat that fast. And that's one of the things that I've done to help cut back on any kind of waste that would have to do with a bread product of any type. We know that stews and soups save us a lot of money, but other things that save us a lot of money as spring and summer is coming on and we don't want to eat the stews and the soups is things like stir fries. You can make a stir fry out of virtually almost anything that you like and it will come out good. And you can make it different every time that you make it. So stir fries are a great way to save money, use up things in your fridge, and have something that's more spring and summer type of theme rather than having a soup or a stew. Casseroles, of course, are always another good way to use those things up, but sometimes we don't feel like eating something hot like that that's really heavy in the summer and the spring. So another great idea is anything in a tortilla wrap. is also a great way to save money. We can put less of a filling in a tortilla wrap and get full and eat several of those and mix and match. You know, you can do the Mexican theme, you can do chicken, you can do eggs, you could do so many things in a tortilla wrap. And those will actually save you money if you swap out the fillings and use those as something for your spring and summer to save some money. I know we've gotten away from a lot of simple meals as things have gotten more convenience related. We see a lot of frozen breakfast items and a lot of packaged items that lead us to believe how convenient they are. So we will just grab those because we don't really know what else to have. But if we go back to some of those simpler ideas, like maybe just toast and butter for breakfast. I had toast and butter for several days last week for breakfast, and I had forgotten how good that really is when your butter is just like melted perfectly on your perfectly toasted bread. And I thought, why am I not doing more simple things like this that I know that I love? But our brains get more complex as we see all of these convenience items be presented to us. And it's almost like we just out with the old, in with the new, and forget that those things are even available. We hear a lot about oatmeal and hot cereals and eggs and things like that for breakfast, but just the simple toast and butter is amazing. And then one thing that I have gotten really lazy about is I'm not good at measuring anymore. I've worked in industrial kitchens. I've cooked a lot in my life before I became an executive director. And I got used to just being able to eyeball a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon, a tablespoon. I didn't want to dirty those dishes in my home, so I got really lazy at just dumping things in. We can actually save a lot of money if we go back to actually measuring our ingredients. When we just eyeball things, we're not always right. And there's no way we could be exactly right. So many times we could be using more than we need to be using. So that's something to keep in the back of our minds, to go back to measuring that quarter of a cup or that half a cup or that tablespoon or teaspoon and see if that helps us save some money and not go through our products as fast. So next I'm going to share with you my favorite smoothie recipe. It's very cost effective, it's very healthy, and it's very easy to make. I'm also going to share some orange juice prices from the grocery store and how those convenience packaging can trick us into thinking we're getting a better deal. Simply orange juice, $3.98 for 52 ounces. Then you get over to the store brand, $3.78. But if you look at the same size Minute Maid, $3.18, $2.74. This bullet blender is something that I found when I was decluttering, brand new in the box. I don't remember ever getting it as a gift. I know I didn't buy it, but it has come in so handy on this trip. I packed it in the camper to make my smoothies. And all I do on my smoothies is I put in about 3 to 4 ice cubes. I put in about a half of a cup of blueberries that are frozen, and I put in about 4 to 5 strawberries that are frozen. And I keep these bags, and then when I buy things that are fresh, if I don't get through them fast enough, I just work up the strawberries, throw them in these bags, reuse these bags, and freeze my fruit so it doesn't go bad. And so I take that, I put that in my bullet blender, I put in a half to a fourth of a cup of Minute Maid orange juice, just enough to make it where it is the right consistency. And then I use Trivia to taste. So we're going to mix that together and make a smoothie for breakfast. I like to blend up my ice first because sometimes those chunks will get caught in there, but that helps a lot. Then I'm just going to eyeball putting in my blueberries. I have my blueberries, my strawberries. Now we're just going to add a little bit of orange juice and mix that together, add our Trivia to taste. And then we have a beautiful smoothie already in the container. You can use the lid if you want to. to drink out of, but I prefer to use a straw. I hope you enjoy. This is absolutely delicious. Food doesn't have to break the bank, as you just saw. We can eat healthy, we can eat delicious food, and we can still do it in a cost saving manner. So let me know, do you need to find areas that you can save money? And if you do you have any idea where you need to tone it down to be able to save? We all have our own numbers in front of us. We all know what our financial condition and position is. At least I hope we do. And as we move forward, trimming in areas that we can trim in so that we can direct that money somewhere else is very, very important. So, where do you need to direct that money? Are you able to make your bills comfortably every month? Let me know in the comments if you're having anything that you're struggling with, anything that I can help with. And I am so happy that you all joined me today. Please give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video.